All right. So our coaching call intention today for the Kangen business is to draw light to what's holding people back from taking advantage of the Kangen business structure. And Luna is going to speak on her experiences around things like blockages and how you can get out of your own way to actually get the most out of a Kangen business structure if you have a Kangen system and you have an Magic ID. And the first thing I wanted to start with is that when I first got my Kangen system 9 years ago, the person who I got it off encouraged me to pursue the business structure and to refer Kangen systems to other people. And I told them that I was not interested in being a water rep or an MLM guy or selling water systems at all. I had my own identity at the time. I was I had my own profession, my own career, so to speak, and I had no intention at all of being a Kangen distributor. However, after a few months of just giving my water to people because I was so impressed with what it was doing to me, it started to occur to me that it could be a possibility, but even then I still didn't actively promote it. And then it wasn't until I went on a journey, an international journey. My intention of that journey was to shift my life and to wake myself up and to shift my life in the best direction possible. As I was on that journey, I opened my mind up to possibilities to have the best life I could. And while I was traveling, it occurred to me that the Kangen business structure could be a viable option. So as I traveled, I interviewed people from Sydney to Hawaii, California, Central America, South America, about what kind of water they were drinking and why. And I tested a bunch of water on the way. And I did realize that there is a huge water crisis on an international level, and that the Kangen business structure and the Kangen water technology can fill part of that gap. And it definitely has a very strong place, and it's a very big market. And for people to understand how powerful that water is and how effective the business structure is yeah, it's very, very poignant. And I launched Native Water 7 years ago, and I've just been noticing ever since that more and more people are waking up to the importance of water the whole time. But to get there, I had to get out of my own way, and I had to take a leap of faith at the time. And I threw myself completely at becoming a water rep because it felt good to me. It took me a while to warm up to it, but when I actually embraced it, it felt really good. And one of the things that I see is when I'm sharing this with other Kangen distributors or people who have Kangen systems or people who are interested in getting systems, is that most people are where I was back 8 years ago. Maybe interested in the business structure, maybe not, or actually pursuing the business, but not doing it with the full intention or not fully following through. And so today we're going to get a little bit into how you can really lean into it and what might be holding us back. And even 7 years in, I still have resistance at times. Yesterday, I had to film a video. I had an intention set to film this video about this particular content, and because I hadn't shot myself in a while, it was like going back in time to, all right, how am I feeling? Got to make sure I'm feeling right and have all the things ready to say and the right background and all of the above. So it's an ongoing journey, as is anything in life that's worthwhile pursuing. So, um, I'd love for Luna to speak now about her perspective on things. This is why we did this. We scheduled this coaching call together because Luna's been telling me that she has some wisdom and experience on this kind of thing, and she's a very wise woman. And we decided it'd be good to put this wisdom out there to people who are interested in doing Kangen business. So, do you want to share your perspective?
Yeah. Well, you're probably asking, what is this girl doing here? So you know a little bit of my background. I am a trained psychotherapist, and I have worked with women for many years, counseling and doing all sorts of work around the subconscious programming and limitations that we have. And now, recently, I have gotten more into marketing, and I work for a woman that has over 1.6 million followers on, well, subscribers on YouTube. I've learned a lot from working with her. And so putting these two things together has really allowed me to be able to help other people, mainly friends and my boss, to just kind of up their game in the social media world. So before that, I had a business, and it was all run online, and I was needing to just really show up every day. And it was mainly on Instagram. And that's how I got to be making, just by counseling and workshops, around $10,000 a month, which is a substantial amount for, you know, working from home. This was not doing Kangen, just for transparency's sake. This was just my own thing. But everything that I've learned so far has led me to be in a position where I do want to help other people, especially in the, just as Hayden was saying, just getting out of their own way. And yeah, just finding the courage really to step out into who they are and portray that elsewhere. So that's one of the big problems that we come across when we're showing up online, and the online world. So there are 7 billion people. I should have looked it up because I love researching how many people are online, but there must be a lot, like the majority of people are online. And we have to really just take advantage of all the people that are out there that are looking for you, are looking for what you have to bring. And people can call it niches, people can call it a whole bunch of things that it is good to align ourselves with that, to be able to talk directly to a person. Gosh, I can go so many ways with this, but I said I was going to talk about what is holding people back. And I'm going to talk more from the psychological perspective, which then, of course, translates to everything we do, because we have to use our minds for everything. We have processes, and many of the times whenever we come to roadblocks, it has to do with some past situation or something that's actually holding us back, and it's within us. So whatever holds us back is not outside of us. And that's something really important to know, because people can get into blaming game, like, the economy is bad. I mean, there are truths to everything, but the economy is not a reason to just not do 100%. That being your relationship status, your a whole bunch of things. So I'm just going to go through a few things that, if you can relate to any of them, it would be really great. And I recommend people to journal and to really keep asking themselves where did this came from? And let's say, so the first one that holds people back is perfectionism. Even though perfectionism is a trait that can be seen as good and bad, a perfectionist trait is actually negative because it creates blockages in people that get them to procrastinate, get them to fear failure. And this is why perfectionism is actually not good. Having good standards and high standards, that's good. Perfectionism is actually not beneficial. And also, so in procrastination, as we know, it is the avoidance of taking action. And if we kind of sit in and look, making reels for my boss, the YouTuber, has really, I have perfectionist tendencies. So whenever I do things, I really want them to be right and I want them to be precise and I like them to be okay. But ever since being in the online world, I've really seen how the more natural we can be and the more unscripted things can be, the better it goes, because it actually reaches more people when you are not absolutely pristinely polished. Like we can just take a video and just kind of film it like that, and people will probably just connect better with you in that way rather than having a whole studio set up, because I was one of those. I'm like, well, if I want to start sharing information, I need a studio and I need lights and I need a good camera. And, and then you just keep putting things in the way between you just taking action. And in all this, really, and this is the conclusion. I'm going through some things, but this is just the conclusion. It's just take action, just do it. Like when you feel like it, when you don't feel like it. In the social media world, it's good to be present every single day and to be real. People are craving for people who are real and who are real in a good way, not like, I mean, people have messy houses. I'm not a fan of messy houses. But if that's you're real, then it's like, yeah, I'm here, the house is messy, but I really need to talk to you about this amazing water system that I found, and these are all the benefits. And again, just going towards your testimony and just being genuine. That's what people connect to. And I know that there are other people out there that are not genuine and that are all polished, and that's the type of people that they're gonna attract. And I don't know, if you're in this movement with Hayden, I'm pretty sure that you would want the real thing and you want real people to be following you, and just generally good people. So I talked a bit about the fear of failure. So the perfectionists do tend to have a fear of failure, because if they don't get everything right, then something might happen and they might fail. So that is false. We can fail no matter how perfect we make things. So just knowing whatever you do, it might work, it might not work. And that's okay. Tomorrow is another day. Just get it done. Again, the message is just getting done. Procrastination. Don't sit on procrastination. As soon as you have an idea, either write it down, just get it done. Yeah, the all or nothing thinking, like black and white terms. And again, things don't have to be perfect.
I've had an example of that is when people say, yeah, I want to do this Kangen business, but I've got it pictured like this, and I'm going to do a website, and I have to, and this is what I'm going to do, and they're talking about it, and I'll see them actually do nothing, and then 6 months later they'll come and say the same thing, and I'll say to those people, you don't really need to do that much. You can literally just start with just sharing some stories on social media, and that's a perfect example of like all or nothing. You can actually do gray areas. You can do a bit, and I really encourage people to lean into just testing the waters rather than trying to do this whole like massive professional production.
Yeah, exactly. And in that, right, because we have fear of failure that a lot of people know about, but not many people know about the fear of success. And this is one of the things that blocks people with fear of success is actually self-sabotage. And that's something like what Hayden was saying. So when someone says, okay, I'm then gonna put all these things or to-do lists in the way before I share, then you're just sabotaging to not complete anything. What else? So other things that I really want to touch on. So I'm just going to go through them really quick. So self-doubt, you know what that's like, negative self-talk, low self-esteem, difficulty making decisions. The one that I want to stop at is the know-it-all complex. This is not a well-known complex, but something that I've seen a lot, and I've struggled with it as well, especially being a researcher and wanting to know a lot. It got me to a place where I was a know-it-all, and whatever anyone would say, I'm like, yeah, I know that, I know that. And that is a very slippery slope to go down, because then you're not asking questions. You end up not being able to learn. We need to be teachable. We need to be humble in our process, and there also has to be a certain level of vulnerability whenever, especially starting a business or running your own business. That's why the most successful people out there, they usually have mentors. They usually have someone that has gone through things already and they can go to. So yeah, you can wing it, but really, if you can prepare for something, then that would be better. If you say, okay, so today from 1 to 2, I'm going to make a reel and I'm going to go this. Just commit and make it happen. If not, again, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you don't really put aside the time to make things happen, is just gonna slip away. What else? I think has that been, it's already been like 10 minutes.
Is it? Do you want to say anything else?
Yeah, well, another thing that you touched on was the fear of being seen. So in the fear of being seen is, and that reminded me, because I was talking to Hayden before doing this, and I was kind of asking, like, what are the limitations that people bring whenever they talk to you? And he mentioned that some people were feeling uncomfortable in pushing the subject, and I'm like, okay, so there is a slight identity, not crisis, but just it touches on the identity of the person, because if someone already has a page that, just for example, like this earth mama, I'm just picking the first thing that comes up, and then there's this water system, then she might feel that that doesn't align with their branding. So just really seeing that what you do is not who you are. You are a multifaceted human being, that you can do many things. You can be a doctor and promote Kangen. You can be a Tyler and promote Kangen. You can be an Earth Mama and promote Kangen, because Kangen truly is a great system, because it is water and everyone needs water. And whenever we are promoting something that has to do with a basic need, it doesn't really matter your brand. I mean, you can do all the how do you call it, the promotion of your water movement in any way you want, but still it's the thing. Yeah, anyway, just going back to Hayden, I actually knew Hayden as the Kangen guy. It's like, he's like, what? So I knew there was someone in the area that did Kangen, and it was him. So that's good. If you are known as the Kangen person for your area, that's actually a really positive thing. And you can be seen as the amazing person that you are, with your own personality and characteristics. And also, whenever people think about a water filtering system or alkaline water or hydrogen water, then they can think about you first, rather than going online and searching anyone that might be an influencer and might take them down the wrong path.
And that's one of the things that I've emphasized as well. Obviously, launching a water brand, I've gone out of my way to become known as a Kangen distributor for this area and beyond. But again, that's not necessary. People don't have to go to those lengths. And in fact, I've set Native Water up, as most of my affiliates are aware, so that it can cater to the needs of the network that are affiliated with Native Water. But also, as Luna was just pointing out, like even if you're a tradie or whatever, you can still allow people to know that you are a Kangen affiliate, you are a Kangen distributor, and that if they are looking for the best water system, they can get it through you. And this is something I repeat to people a lot. Put it out there, let people know, and then you open up your possibilities to limitless potential. Limitless potential to help people and limitless potential to earn residual passive income on an international scale.
The other thing that a lot of people can suffer from is the enough component. So that comes down to saying things to yourself like, I'm not good enough, or I'm not doing enough, or I don't know enough, or I don't have enough time. Anything where you put the enough word, really inquire into it. And I think if you can get anything out of this call, it would be to just get a bit more curious around the, yeah, I'll say the excuses that you put yourself. They can seem like reasons, because when there is a moment of potential expansion that we go through, then the ego kind of goes like, oh, no, like that's too much, that's too big, that's I don't want to go there, that's an unknown territory. But that is exactly where the growth happens, when we step out and we do some things that might feel comfortable. But you all have support. You have Hayden, and you have a network of people that are all going through the same thing. You're not alone.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, well, that was one thing I wanted to close with, is that when people talk about how Kangen is an MLM or multi-level marketing business, it's not really accurate, because although you could categorize it as so, it's got a unique structure. It's very different from every other MLM business out there. And what does that say?
It's running out of time.
How much time? Doesn't even let us know.
10 minutes.
Okay, cool. Perfect timing. So Kangen has its own unique business structure. So when people write it off as like a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme or MLM, using MLM as a dirty word, first of all, it's not completely accurate, or not accurate at all, really. But secondly, if you actually share like how the business structure works, it's actually really good to point out to people. It's very different from things like doTERRA. And I say doTERRA because it's one of the best known multi-level marketing businesses in the world. It doesn't feed the people at the top so they just cash in and get super rich and don't have to do anything, where people are getting taken advantage of at the bottom, which is what a lot of people think. It's not at all. It's actually people have to earn that commission, and they have to continue to earn it by looking after other people and looking after their distributors. And even when you come in at a ground level, you actually are compensated quite well, and very well, very quickly, if you apply yourself. And at the end of the day, no one's getting disadvantaged, because the people at the bottom of the pyramid are getting a Kangen system that looks after their health for life. So it's actually a really beautiful business structure with a beautiful product that should really be embraced, and is wisely embraced by wise people. And that's when we see people really thriving, not just with the health benefits of the water, but by utilizing the international business structure. And initially, when I was looking at potentially promoting Kangen, I did have a resistance because I didn't want to be seen as an MLM guy. There was a bit of a dirty word to that, and it was a bit. I felt it was below me to be promoting an MLM product. But when I opened my mind up to it and really dissected what it actually meant, I realized it's not bad at all. Actually, it's actually really cool, and it's the future, and that's why we're seeing more and more products being utilized in MLM structures. And that's why more and more people are using products like Kangen to enhance the quality of their lives and create self-empowering freedom, because it works and it's worth it and it's great. So I definitely encourage anyone out there who wants to have the best life possible to really embrace the Kangen business structure, and most importantly to do it with authenticity, with the water and with the technology, rather than just how some distributors are doing, where it's just about like just getting rich quick, joining a movement, just promoting the lifestyle of freedom. I genuinely feel that it should be about talking about how the water actually works within the body and how the technology works to get the most out of it. I think that's the key to healthy longevity within the business and to help people with integrity.
Well done.
So yeah, we can wrap the call up. We've only got a few minutes left on the Zoom restrictions anyway. And we'll stop the recording and then we'll do question time. So